Knock at the window. They moved to the old house on the edge of the forest because Amelia needed clean air. Asthma, insidious and suffocating, retreated here, among the pines and silence. But the silence in this house was special, thick, viscous, like cotton wool wrapping every sound. On the very first night, Lisa woke up to a knock. Not loud, but distinct, tap tap tap. As if someone was tapping a knuckle against the glass. She flinched and looked at the window in the nursery, where 5-year-old Amelia slept. The window was a dark rectangle, reflecting only the shadow of the nightlight. No one. It seemed, she whispered, huddling under the blanket. Her husband, Mark, was fast asleep, not stirring. The next night, the knock repeated. A little louder, more insistent. Tap. 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 Exactly 3 times. Lisa got up, approached Amelia's window, and pulled back the curtain. Outside the glass, autumn darkness pooled, and only the wind stirred the bare branches of an old apple tree. A branch, she decided, but her heart was pounding wildly. A branch doesn't knock so rhythmically. On the 3rd night, she was already awake, listening. And she waited. Tap tap tap. Right on the glass of her own bedroom window, facing the garden. She froze, staring into the black mirror of the window. And suddenly she saw how, on the cold glass from the inside, right at the level of her face, a small, hazy circle from breath appeared. And right after it, a second one, slightly lower. As if someone standing outside had pressed their face to the glass and exhaled. She woke Mark with a scream. Grumbling, he inspected the entire perimeter of the house, even checked the roof. Nothing. Nerves, Liz. You're settling in. Or the neighbor's cats, he said, already falling asleep. But Lisa noticed how he checked the locks on all the windows before bed. From that moment on, the knock came every night. Always 3 times. It moved around the house, sometimes in the kitchen, sometimes in the living room. And always after the knock, those 2 hazy spots would appear on the glass from the inside, traces of someone's breath, as if an invisible guest was looking into the house, fogging the glass from the outside, but the condensation was manifesting from the inside. Amelia started talking to the quiet uncle. He knocks so I don't forget to invite him to play, she said one morning at breakfast. Lisa broke into a cold sweat. Mark, frowning, forbade his daughter from saying such things. The peak of horror came on the night when Lisa, getting up for water, saw Amelia standing in the doorway of her room. The girl was sleepily looking into the darkness of the living room, straight at the large panoramic window. Mom, Amelia said quietly, why is your double standing outside? She looks just like you. Only her eyes are always closed. And she's crying. Lisa looked out the window. No one. But on the perfectly clean glass, 2 trickles were slowly sliding down, as if from tears. And right between them, a fresh, still damp handprint. A child's handprint. As if someone from outside had pressed their hand against the glass, trying to enter. They packed their things in the middle of the night. Lisa, with trembling hands, threw suitcases into the car, while Mark nervously shuffled documents. Amelia was already seated in the back, wrapped in a blanket. Lisa took a final step towards the threshold to turn off the light in the hallway. And then a knock came. Not on a window. On the door. 3 slow, heavy blows, thud. 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 She cautiously looked through the peephole. On the doorstep, illuminated by the yellow light of the porch, stood herself. The same hairstyle, the same bathrobe Lisa was wearing now. But the one outside had a deathly pale face, and her eyelids were tightly shut. Thick, black tears seeped from under them. The creature at the door slowly raised its hand and touched its own closed eye with its index finger, then turned the finger and pointed at Lisa, in the peephole. Lisa screamed and, stumbling, ran out to the car. Mark, without looking at the road, pulled out onto the highway. They raced through the darkness, all three silent, stunned by horror. An hour later, already in the light of the first city street lamp, Lisa turned to the back seat to adjust the blanket on her daughter. Amelia was asleep, pressed against the window. And on the car window, next to her face, were two small, hazy circles from breath. And between them, a barely noticeable, sticky trail, as if from someone's tear. Lisa slowly shifted her gaze to her daughter's face. In the rhythm of the road bumps, Amelia's eyelashes fluttered slightly. But Lisa now knew, it wasn't sleep. It was an attempt to open her eyes. Those very eyes that were supposed to remain closed. And in the pocket of her bathrobe, her own phone, forgotten in the house, began to ring. On the screen glowed a notification from the security camera they had never taken down, motion detected at the front door. She didn't tap the notification. She already knew what she would see. Herself. With closed eyes. Standing on the threshold of her own house. And a quiet, insistent movement of lips on the pale face, forming a soundless word that would now forever echo in her soul. OMG.